Hey planner friends! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be planning for the week of almost Halloween from the 24th to the 30th of October in my medium passion planner. Let's get started! So the kit that I'm using this week is Spooky But Cute from Fantasy Design Store, and I'm pairing this with this purple Halloween twinkle from Tilly Journals. So this is going to be my big foily Halloween spread because this is the week that we're actually celebrating Halloween. As always, I've started off with the pen base of my spread, so I've shaded in the parts of the timelines where I'm going to be asleep, and then I'm going in with my grey Stabilo fine liner to mark in my alarm times and split my personal and work to do sections in half to give myself a checklist space for each day of the week. I'm then using the fine liner side of my orange passion marker, which is my theme colour for October, to mark in my work hours for the week. So I'm working the full 5 days this week, which is a little bit unusual. I do normally take a little bit of time off around Halloween, but I decided not to this year because we had a lot of time off at the beginning of the month. Next, I'm just writing in all of my meals for the week, so breakfast, lunch and dinner each day using my Pilot friction pen. As usual, I'm not writing breakfast on days where I don't have an alarm set, just in case I have a little bit of a sleep in. As I already mentioned, I section up my personal and work to-do list so that I have a bit of checklist space for each day of the week, so I'm just adding in the days of the week and also a this week section into my checklist area. I'm then going to switch over to the chisel tip side of my passion marker and highlight over all of the checklist boxes, all of the meals that I've written in, and also colour in the daily focus boxes of days where I'm not going to be at work, just to keep that pop of my orange theme colour for October going through the spread. I know I mentioned last week that I quite like the sort of more muted orange that's in the new passion markers, but this also fits really well with the kit that I used this week, which has some more pastel-y colours rather than bright, vibrant ones. So that is pretty much it for my pen base. Now we can get into some stickers, and as always I'm starting with my meal plan tracker, which is just something that I made in Excel and print off on sticker paper myself. I'm then adding in a squared off half box from an old planner face kit into the weekly focus box with a foiled layering piece from the Tilly Journals Twinkle and a little bit of deco. I'm then adding in a habit tracker from the kit and a decorative box over the quote section, and then adding some of the foil overlay corners from the Twinkle. I really love that this Twinkle is on transparent matte so that you just get the foil shine and none of the kind of glare from glossy stickers. I can then move on to my washi headers, so I've cut one of the washi strips from the kit in half to cover my Space of Infinite Possibility header and the personal and work to-do list headers. There were loads of extra washi options in this kit, so I did have a little bit of trouble deciding which ones that I wanted, but I figured that this stripy one was perfect because it would kind of ground the spread. I'm then using one of the skinny washi pieces from the kit to create my extra gratitude header in the bottom left hand corner. And then I've cut one of the 15mm washi overlays from the Twinkle in half so that I can cover that Space of Infinite Possibility header and personal and work to-do list headers with a little bit of Twinkle. You may notice as we go through the spread that I'm kind of struggling to trim stuff from the Twinkle on my planner, just because I was super worried about cutting through my planner because it's a bit of a different material to what I'm used to working with, as it's not just like standard removable matte paper. My craft knife is also super blunt because I haven't replaced the blade for a long time and I haven't sharpened it for a while either, so that's probably also not helping when it comes to actually cutting through different types of paper. But anyway, now I can just add in the weekend banner from the Twinkle and then we can get into my plans for the week. So zooming in and starting on Monday, I'm using one of the event labels from the kit with a Joy of Planning Scientist Girl to mark that I was duty scientist this day. And unfortunately this day I went home from work at lunchtime to work from home for the rest of the day because I had a migraine and I needed to sit in the dark. So this plan for Monday evening got moved to later in the week, but I'm using one of the half boxes with a book icon from the kit and a foiled layering piece to mark in setting up the back pages of my 2023 planner. I didn't want this half box to take up the whole evening, so I stuck it down, and because this is removable matte, I could then remove like one line in the passion planner's worth of sticker from the middle of it, and then stick the two halves kind of back together, and you can't really see the seam if you don't look too hard. I used this trick a couple times when I was doing my memory keeping this week as well, just because I didn't have the variety of box sizes that I would normally be used to. Moving on to Tuesday, I'm using a glitter header with a header overlay and a work from home script from Plannerface to mark in that I was working from home. And then I'm using a fancy label from the kit with a laptop doodle from Plannerface to mark in a meeting that we had that I was presenting at, and my presentation actually went pretty well even though I was still dealing with the after effects of my migraine from Monday. For Tuesday evening, I'm first marking in leg day using a Pinky Stickers printable and a leg day script from Plannerface, and then I'm just filling in that space between leg day and dinner because I'm not really going to be doing anything, and I'm doing that with a glitter header and a header overlay from the Twinkle. On Wednesday we were supposed to be getting our boiler replaced, but unfortunately this has had to be rescheduled, but I'm using a box from the Tilly Journals kit with a little home doodle from Plannerface to mark that in. I'm then marking in my usual Wednesday afternoon seminar using an event label from the kit and a laptop icon from the Twinkle. And then moving on to Wednesday evening, I'm using another Pinky Stickers printable to mark in doing some yoga at home. And then I'm marking in that it was my dad's birthday using a patterned washi piece from the kit with a balloon icon and a birthday script from the Twinkle. And I think I add the birthday script in a bit later because I completely forgot that I had scripts. Flipping over to the second half of the week, I'm marking in working from home in the same way that I did on Tuesday, with a glitter header, a header overlay and a work from home script from Plannerface. I'm then using an event label and the computer icon from the Twinkle to mark in another meeting that I had this morning. I would say that I had a lot of meetings this week, but I've already seen my pre-planning for next week and I have a lot more meetings next week. For Thursday evening, I'm marking in another weight session, again using a Pinky Stickers printable with a pull day script from Plannerface, and then I'm using the bin icon from the kit and a bin day script from the Twinkle to mark in a reminder to take the bins out this evening. Moving on to Friday, I'm using a little thing with the box icon from the kit to mark in that I was duty scientist again. And then I'm using another Pinky Stickers printable to mark in doing some cardio, but I completely binned this off because traffic was so terrible on Friday evening. Like, I left work early and still got home half an hour after I normally would. Moving on to Saturday, I'm again going to team training, so I shouldn't really have added lunch in when I did my pen base because I'm just putting a sticker straight over it. So I'm using a half box with a Joy of Planning weightlifting girl to mark in training, and I'm also adding in a glitter header with an overlay from the Twinkle to just take up a little bit more time, because with the 2.5 hour training session and a drive each way, this training session is a bit more than a half box worth of time. Before I go to training, I'm using an event label and the clapperboard icon from the kit to mark in editing and recording this voiceover. And I am actually recording when I said I would in my pre-planning, so I think this new kind of way of working out my Saturdays is actually working pretty well for me. Once I get back from training, I'm using half of a paint splodge with the planner doodle from the kit and a planning time script from the Twinkle to mark out my planning time, and then I'm using an event label with a makeup doodle from Plannerface and a Get Spooky script from my freebie to mark out some time to get ready for what was supposed to be a Halloween party this evening. So I'm marking in that party using a squared off box from the Twinkle with a wine doodle and a pumpkin doodle from Plannerface. But this is actually now going to be more of a Halloween movie night because I really can't be bothered to go out and get dressed up and stuff. For Sunday, I'm using half of a checklist box from the kit to mark out a chunk of time to do some cleaning and just decorating that with a plant doodle from the Twinkle. And then I'm using an event label with a grocery doodle from Plannerface and a grocery script from the Twinkle to mark getting my click and collect order. Next, I'm using a paint swatch from the kit with a YouTube button icon also from the kit and an upload script from Plannerface to mark in uploading this video. And then I've marked in my last weight session of the week, again using a Pinky Stickers printable and a push day script from Plannerface. So now, as usual, I'm going back and filling in some of that time when I'm going to be at work with some of the decorative boxes from the kit, and these are all super cute and spooky, although I did struggle to trim some of them down because the designs on them are quite big. As usual, I've trimmed all of these boxes down vertically on the sticker paper, and then I'm trimming them horizontally on my planner so they fit nicely within the timelines. I've then done exactly the same with a whole bunch of overlays from the Twinkle, and I'm either adding in a transparent overlay over the whole full box, or I've added in some more of those corners like I used on the slide bar. Because we all know that I'm not that great at measuring, some of these overlays were completely the wrong size compared to how I cut down the full boxes, especially this one on Monday, so I've just cut a tiny little piece off of the full box underneath so that they're the same size as the overlay. Because I've cut down the overlays, when I've gone back to look at how much I have left over from the Twinkle, there's easily enough to do a whole other spread, so I can definitely get a couple of pages out of one Twinkle. I'm then just going back in with my orange passion highlighter to mark in my little dots for my top 2 or 3 things that I get done at work each day. I'm then adding in some half cut glitter headers to fill in that tiny little bit of space on Monday and Thursday, and since I set up the spread, I have added in half cut header overlays over the top of those as well. So that is all of my stickers. Now I can go back in and fill in all of my plans as usual using my Pilot Friction pen. So this week hasn't exactly been the week that I wanted. Obviously, as I mentioned, I started off the week with a migraine and had to come home from work early. But this is why I use removable stickers so that I can move things around in my planner, and I got all of my 2023 back pages done on Thursday, and I'm super happy with how that setup is going. Also, aside from the migraine, work has been okay this week. I had my extra day of working from home on Monday afternoon so that I could sit in the dark, and then my presentation went really well on Tuesday, which I was kind of worried about because it was to my entire half of the department, not just to my team. But it does also help that it's virtual, so it's all on Teams, because I don't like standing in front of people and doing presentations, but I think doing these voiceovers has really helped me with my confidence when it comes to presenting to a computer screen. Outside of work, I've also had a pretty decent week, so I spent a lot of the beginning of this week just kind of resting and trying to not have a headache, and then we were prepping for our new boiler to arrive on Wednesday, which unfortunately it didn't, and I'm really annoyed about it because it's just the company that's supposed to be installing it has been messing around, which is so frustrating. But I didn't want to waste that purple box, so I just put a paint swatch from the kit over it and then just put rescheduled on it, and hopefully it's happening next week instead. Training has also been okay this week. I kind of took a gamble on Tuesday with going to the gym because sometimes it can help a migraine because I'm starting to feel better about myself, and sometimes it's too loud and it makes my migraine even worse. Thankfully, it improved my migraine this week, and I had a couple of really good sessions so far. And I'm hoping that I have a really good training session today and also a nice little easy session tomorrow. I've been on my current program for almost 12 weeks, and I am thinking about asking my new coach if I can start getting some programming from her, because the program that I'm on currently is one that I made myself. I think I mentioned it in a couple videos. So I'm enjoying it, but I don't know if it's actually optimized in any way, shape or form. My focus for this week was to make time for rest, and I definitely did that. I think my migraine kind of knew my weekly focus as well and was like, you need to get some rest. So I definitely did that. But that is all of my pre-planning done for this week. Let's have a little wiggle and then take a look at the finished spread. So here is the spread all filled out, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I always get a little bit worried when I'm using a kit format that I'm not completely used to, that I'm not going to like how the spread turned out, and then I was adding in a lot of foil elements, which also I'm still a little bit uncomfortable with, but I definitely think it turned out really, really nicely. Oh, and although I didn't really dress up for Halloween this year, Reggie definitely did, and he just made the cutest little bat. So that's everything for this video, friends. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!